Look, right, this is what I think, right, and, many Irish people likely will not agree with me, but this is still what I think. This is my opinion, right? There was a lot of change. We've got that Merriman video, which I've put links to in various videos and in the petitions, right? Which Merriman says that Irish words and names, the spelling of them, was changed and altered. And it was actually, they made it illegal to do certain spellings, right? When the Romans came, they wanted to eradicate the Druids and remove them. And the knowledge of them, really. The knowledge of their order, And subsequently, after the church was established, they've further gone to, although the church wouldn't be what it is now if it hadn't have been for the Druids, because much of the Druid culture was absorbed, but there've been a lot of changes to place names. If you start getting into the local area, particularly our area, right, and you really are reflecting, comparing, contemplating, understand the area and the sites and other sites around Britain, right? And you think about the words and names and think, well, listen, that's been changed. What's been changed? We know that things have been changed now. Now, for our area, the main two words and terms for the West Yorkshire area are Elmet and Agbridge, right? Now, we know the word bridge is highly significant because we've got the Brigantes, Brigantes, and the god Brigid, right? So we've got the word Brigid, which is Brigid and Brigantes, right? At bridge. It has to be, right? Because Brigantes tribe and Agbridge at bridge, right? Now, I've done many videos talking about the words around all the places we've got here around Elmet, Helmet, and Dun-Elm, Helm, Dun-Elm, and then the Irish words for like Leman, it looks like layman when you look at it, right? Layman's terms. You'll have to watch all those videos, right? Now, in Ireland, we've got Drochaide, which is the bridge over the ford, but it's still bridge and to do with water and flowing, right? Now, this is a really important thing, what I think, and this is one, even the Irish now who use words and have got meanings, right? We know that when St. Patrick went over to Ireland, he was supposedly meant to have driven all the snakes out of there, which he wanted to eradicate the pagan culture in terms. Now, I think a lot of that is manifested in this changing of spellings and words, because then you remove the exact meaning, although there might be some reference or memory to it. I mean, look at Cheltenham, CH, Cheltenham, but, it's almost like it might have been, or it's likely to have been Cheltenham for the Celts, Cheltenham, right? We've got places like Skelmanthorpe. All you do is drop the S, and then it's Kelmanthorpe again. Now, they were called the Celts, right? So, we've got the Book of Kells. Now, what we're looking at on the screen now, I've done a video about the Romans, and the Romans didn't have those bridges on the top of their helmets, right? At first. We've got some older Roman helmets, and they were just normal. The Celts as helmets, the helmets of the Celts were liberty-shaped, like the liberty caps. And there were lots of meaning and terms to do with that in the language, to do with, like, all the different words and terms around that. Now, if the Druids themselves had something to do with this, one of the main gods of the Celts, and the gods are to do with religion, so that's when, the Druids are relevant now. Of the three main gods, one of them was Brigid, right, which is length, elongation, pole, mast, right? now, or beaming out, projection. A pole projects outwards, right? Now, all the Irish and Scottish, they say Druid. That's how you say it. Druid. D-R-U-I-D. Druid. Right? I mean, when you've got drawing, the word drawing, to draw, or in the past tense, drew. I drew something. When you say I drew something, you're saying it in the past tense. Not like you're sat there drawing it now. In the past, I drew it. Now, I did another video on the term of unrob. There was something previously, unrob, which is like when you get into Robin Hood. Because they said that he used to rob from the rich and give to the poor as well. There's some sort of termination. There's something with that Robin of the Hood, the Robin of the Hood story. There were lots of meanings in symbology. That is another video that I've concentrated on, and the fact that Robin Hood's grave is connected with that site, that Warrior's Tomb site, which is in our area of Agbridge and at Huddersfield, where these two big Longbarrow Hill forts are. There's something in that as well. Now, I think, this is what I truly think, and the Irish people probably may not agree with me and may dispute it or argue it, right? But I think that they've had, even in their own, well, actually not in their language, because in their language this bridge is Drochaide, right? It's Drochaide. I don't know, I can't press, if I press it, it'll just say bridge, right? In English, it's bridge. In the Gaelic, it's Drochaide, right? Now, if the O in Drochaide was not an O, if it was a U, right? There are places in Wales called Druid. If it was a U, it would be Druid, which is Druid, right? Druid. It's only one letter change. Druid. Now, the thing with the word aid is to help or assist, right? Now, and we've got this sound of drew, but it's in the past. Like, you know, you drew something in the past. The Picts, the word for the Picts, the word picture is associated with the Picts, to draw an image or colours or picture. Right back in France, in Gaul, when the Romans were having earlier accounts before the conquest of Britain, they were saying that the Gauls were painting each other in colours to do with the religious rituals, right? Then fast forward it later, then they're calling the Picts and saying they painted people, and they're saying no, it was unique, and the Picts painted themselves. But if you go back to the early Roman reports, it was happening in Gaul and France before conquest. If you read all the Roman writings on it. So it's not this weird Scottish, Pictish thing of painting that is only weird and unique to Scotland, like the very far reaches of Scotland. Quite the contrary. It was all over Gaul in connection with religious ceremonies, having your body painted in colours. And that's what happens when you have the religious experience with the magic mushrooms, strong ones, and ayahuasca, is when it's to do with body and rebirth and all of colours. That's another subject. If you want further professional academic evidence for that, go see Dennis McKenna or Robin Carhart or whoever you want to pick. You know, if you want to pick Graham Hancock or whoever. I'm not asking you, I'm telling you, right? If you think I'm wrong, then that's up to you. I think that some things happened and gone on, right? When the Romans came over, at some point, suddenly those helmets started having the bridge on the top, the elongation, the curve. And it's almost like the burial mound over the skull, but it's also like the rainbow over the head, you know, to bring them good luck or whatever. But also it makes them look powerful because the Druids were in control and have the power over the Celts, right? So if you want to make your own army look powerful, then you want to look powerful, more powerful than the Druids. That's the thing. Now, on the top of the helmet, a rainbow is a bridge anyway. So if you're wanting to defeat the Brigantes, or be better than them, or be better than the Druids, then all your entire army, or normal people, all of the power, or the symbols of the Druids, or even to outpower them. Well, I can't see any other function for that decoration on the helmet, if they all had it on or not. Because in a battle or fighting, it would be a disadvantage to have that on your helmet, because it would be off balance and you would need more straps, and it easily could be hit from the side. But the fact of the Romans, they weren't necessarily needing to get into close combat as much, because they had their shields, right, around the sides and over the top, and they moved like a tank, like as you see in Asterix cartoons. But they were using archery power. So when they get to these hill forts, they can defend themselves, their units, from these slingshots and, the bows of the Celts and various, and even have certain, advantage on when they're being attacked on ground, because the Celts were known for these skirmish ambush style attack. Although the Romans never defeated the Germans, and they're meant to be quite wild and crazy, but they never fully defeated the Scottish anyway, who had the wild attack. There's something happened. I think there was some sort of dealing and double-crossing going on within Britain and Gaul, but, why didn't they... If the Gaulish had this wild, crazy methods of fighting like the Germans, the Germans must not have been as negotiable. It was something to do with agreements and certain favours going over to the Romans as well. But with the Romans claimed they wanted to, get rid of the Druids, so, and destroyed a lot of the temples. So maybe some Druids came over to the Roman side, but the Romans, Druidry was illegal, so they were saying, and so was Christianity. So there can't have been that many deals with them, or it wouldn't have been completely illegal. I think that Irish have got it wrong, and I think they've allowed themselves to be deceived by these name and letter changes, which Merriman is talking about in the video, and she puts very strong evidence to support. Also in the place names. When you've got the names and meaning and you're trying to find out about the history, then you can find out from words and names. If it's changed or altered or erased, you cannot trace the actual name back as much. A lot of these ancient sites and cairns, it's quite easy to contaminate DNA samples, A lot of the bodies were thrown out on this claim they were looking for treasure. A lot of the Irish ones were massive, were damaged and things like that. But, I think there was, if you actually destroy it's like digging up Cromwell's body and dragging it around, really, because, it was about what it meant. Cromwell was a guy who defeated the monarchy, and then later on when they recovered it, even his bones and body, they even had to do that. That is this type of thing that they do, the royals, dig up the bones, and even the bones, they want to destroy the history of it. If you start getting people into incinerating them, then it's you're destroying the physical manifestation and memory of that actual ancestor's physical body, aren't you? Whereas before they were burying him and protecting him. It seems pointless to me to reduce it to ash and then build all that protection around it, because if you want to reduce something to ash, you're stripping it down to molecules going back into the earth and the air and the wind, and then you just blow it into the wind. What's the point of piling up ash and then protecting it in a thing when you reduce it to ash? There's no left to protect. There's no memory saved in the bones or molecular. There's no. You can't claim the spirit of the ancestors is in it when you reduce it to ash, So I think, a lot of the ancestor bones were damaged, so to prevent proper ancestry being traced, and things like that. Now, go back to this bridge and this druid. I think that for the druids, the long barrows are particular to the British Isles, right? The long barrows. So this pier shape, this bridge shape, this projection shape, right? And we've got them, large ones and small ones, but they come from a natural form. The original cairns, as they came up through Europe, were round shape, the majority of them. Apparently, there was very few long barrows. Now, the shape of the structure actually has got something to do with energy and flow of it, similar to electronics and circuits flow. Basically, you've got this resistance. The whole theory of resistance and flow basically exists. So it exists on the planet Earth because you've got the North Pole and South Pole, and you've got magnetic force, so it exists. You've got polarity and flow. Anyway, it cannot be. It's not. It's not some sort of pseudoscience. It's actual fact in creatures. Now, I think that I truly believe that it's actually the bridge and the druid is the same. Like a druid himself is a bridge, or is a projection, or like bridge between people, like a connection or bridge between people. Druid, a druid. To draw is to paint a picture or an image, create a picture or an image, on something. You see, air is actually on. The Celtic word is actually for air is on, or it means on. Air means on, top of. So if you've got a hill fort with villagers on a hill fort, they're actually air. They're actually on air, basically, And then if you got the ripples around the edge of them, it's almost like waveform, isn't it? Or oscillations. That's another thing. On air. There's even a river called the Air, when you drop it, it's like when you drop the stone into a pond and the ripples go out, So there's something in that. Now, I think, I truly believe that this Drochaide druid bridge over crossing a flow or ford and that, it's linked into the word. I don't think it was actually pronounced druid. I think it was Drochaide, or Drochaide, like because now even the word head, and then even when you've got helmet, it all ties in. There's something going on between Elmet, the helmet, the head, right? Like Heart's Head. We've got Heart's Head. That Warrior's Tomb Hill Fort, it is like a natural heart shape, right? But it's also like the Celtic helmet shape, right? Heart's Head, right? And it's also tied into these two long barrow shapes. And we've got Agbridge, right? The Romans are attacking the Druids, but then even though the Romans call it the Brigantes, and then we have got this bridging, the Romans seem to themselves then start getting these bridges on the helmets, which are also like a burial mount shape and a rainbow. So it's like the Romans themselves in their own army adopt this bridge motif, this rainbow motif, this burial mound motif, not in their leaders, but all of their army soldiers, right? For this power of Rome. I think that's part of how they won some of the Celts over onto their side, and like, this is the right side to back this side in this army. Likely when they took over Gaul and then proceeded, they're learning more about how the Druids work and what their faith and belief is, So that is important. It instills fear. If you watch the latest Doctor Who, the Sea Devils, which is on a couple of weeks ago, it's in series 13. It's like the latest program that's come out. It says why have you used this old ship? Well, Castle Hill is like when you're on Castle Hill, De Lacy after the Norman conquest formed it into like a shape of a ship, right? And then they've got ships in the latest Doctor Who. She's from Huddersfield. She's from our area. Now they're saying that why are you using this ship form or this ship? Because it instills fear into the land crawlers or whatever, So that's what the Roman helmet, I think, was about. You see, I don't think they could sacrifice it being more clumsy in close combat because they didn't get into close combat that often, and they got all the shields to defend themselves anyway, and they were winning a lot by this. They could turn up and assault if they could get to like the hill fort. They don't even need to climb up the walls of it. They had if they had that many troops, they could literally surround it or confront it, be shielded themselves very well with the shield wall of shields above them and in front of them until the Celts, finish firing whatever they're firing, slingshots or arrows, and then when they return fire, they're not losing troops, and then a massive assault. They're massive. When you have these images of the sky being filled with arrows, then it goes black with all arrows, and then and then they're just like. I'm starting to think that might have been what happened if they didn't run away first. The Romans tried to claim the Druid stronghold was at Anglesey, and then this big battle with all the arms up to the skies and the heavens and all this. I don't think the Druid stronghold was at Anglesey, unless it was the last frontier stronghold being reduced back to there. I don't know how many Druids stayed to fight or how many ran away, but I think that something happened at Huddersfield, at Agbridge, at Elmet, to do with a major Druid base, because it's never acknowledged for some reason. All it's acknowledged as is the fort by the bend in the river, Camberdunham, right? So, and actually, if you think of the Roman helmet, that on top of the Roman helmet, that arch is almost like a camel hump, isn't it? Camberdunham. They didn't even form the city there. They formed Eboracum, York, by the bigger river. Is that even called the Aire? Because you've got the Trent comes into the River Aire. You've got Calder Aire, River Goole, and you've got the Trent that joins on further on. It means on. I mean. At that hill fort is on the top, isn't it? Air means on top of. You fire arrows through the air. There is something to do, right, with that Robin Hood legend. Firing arrow through the air, right? An archer. It was an archer. And then when it lands, he's been buried, burial mound. It is everything to do with that warrior's tomb hill fort. Everything. It is everything to do with that site. It's the right site. It's in the right place. It's by the right river. It's got two massive longbow things near it. It's by the Pennines, this ridge bridge. I think that something happened and it's not been put in the Roman accounts. Something happened there. Now, they're claiming that Queen Kathmandu or whatever sided with the Romans or whatever, but that's the Queen, not the Druids. Now whether the warriors turned against the Druids, I don't know. So the Romans didn't actually end up killing the. Now, if you see, but Richmond, which 6 miles north of Richmond, is this place which is a walled enclosure where they're claiming that they hadn't actually even confirmed it. They're reckoning that Kathmandu was up there, which is quite a far bit north. It's quite a far bit north, isn't it, from here? It's quite way up north, and I've been there. It's not symbolic. It's not. I don't think it's symbolically significant, and there aren't really many hill forts in West Yorkshire. The south coast is absolutely dotted with them. They're all over the place down south. You've got like 3 together at Warminster, Scratchbury. You've got Scratchbury, Middle Hill, and Balsbury. Then you've got like 2 together, Worthing, for example. You've got Shanktonbury and Sisbury Ring, where we're knocking Flint out of earlier on. And then you've got Maiden Castle. It's absolutely, you got loads close together. Get to Yorkshire. There aren't loads and loads and loads and loads and loads and loads. There are a few, but they're spread out a lot more, like Barnsley, Sheffield. There aren't loads like that down south. Now, I don't think you just have Castle Hill by itself. It's very, very, to say that there aren't that many other hill forts in this county, and to say that it's Castle Hill itself is in a very, very nice position. Yes, there are other beautiful ones. Everywhere is beautiful when it's still all countryside. You know, Bristol's beautiful. You know, in along the river where the cliffs are, Clifton. You know, it's like almost like a hill with a river running through it with cliffs on the side. It's like almost like, you know, there are loads of beautiful hill forts, because when the country's not all cities and when it's beautiful forest, where isn't beautiful? But I'm not saying, you know, that hill fort entering Devon and Cornwall, the dragon-shaped one, which everyone knows it's the dragon-shaped one, but people aren't talking about it. It's almost like we know, but we don't talk about it, right? You know, it's almost like its wings are stretching out as if like a pen, you know, like a sheep pen. It's all like Pendragon. It's so obvious now. That's a spectacular hill fort if I ever seen one, right? Like, you know, a dragon's head living on a dragon. It's almost like when you have the ayahuasca experience, you know, like the world is the dragon. The dragon is almost like the deity, the god. So, but, you know, there are different, you know, then you got the White Horse, Uffington. There is some spectacular. They're all different. That's the thing. They're all different and have a different emblem and symbol for its own area. There is no better or worse. I mean, Scotland's high up in the Highlands. We're not saying Scotland's not insignificant. I mean, it's not significant or not important. There are loads of, you know, Scotland's dotted with sites, actually, more than here. I don't know if a lot of them were flattened around here. I don't know. But Huddersfield, it wouldn't be just lone, because it's too... The area itself, the natural beauty of it and the setting, it merits more than just one hill fort, and there are. There's Dunelm has to be something, and so does that Warrior's Tomb, because they're the right size, they're the right approximate size and shape, and then one is twice the distance from the other. It's too perfectly set up. So why it has been, you know, it was even acknowledged to have a name, Warrior's Tomb. Now, someone planted trees all around it on the banks. To me, right, something to do with the name Bridge at Bridge, Brigantes, and the long barrows being connected with the Druids or the Druid culture and it being masculine. There's something to do with the long barrows, the word and term bridge, meaning long like a pier, which a long barrow is, and the fact that the bridge is like Drochaide, but it could be Druid if it's with a letter change, and we know they were changing a lot of letters and meanings, and even getting the entire country to adopt it and then forget, because we're changing surnames, right? It then, you know, Druid becomes Drochaide, but then even to draw to drew is to make a picture. If you have imagine an idea, it's to make a picture in your mind, you know. But to drew, he's past tense though, like Anne Rob. There's something to do with our area and this Robin Hood legend. The fact that it's still a myth and it's not 100% concerned, you know, well, it's the Earl of Huntingdon or whatever, but then you got all these other things thrown in, Friar Tuck and all this, much the Miller's Son and all this, right? There's something. It was a monastery, something to do with priests and monasteries. The word to pray and prayer, which is a crossover between religion, religious, praying and praying, which is to say prayers, to wish to God for something, which is like Druid practice and Druid, you know, he's still imagining something or asking the powers of God for something. But then you've got pray, which is to attack, to hunting. You see, the only way you could take out these massive hill forts if you were attacking them, if you were Romans, is by using massive archer power. Because that's how they were doing it. They have to have been. And when you assault an hill fort with arrows, and they all land and stick into it, it's all kind of almost like that Warrior's Tomb being covered with the tree sticking into it, like arrows all around it, like it's obviously assaulted with arrows. I don't know if that was a hill fort like Oswestry and it got dug out. I don't know, because archaeologists haven't tested it. Archaeology has been sealed and written off by Imperial Chemical Industries, ICI. And the Victoria Tower has made our Longbarrow Hill Fort into a celebration of the current monarchy. So we don't look at it in that sense prehistorically anymore. It's all to God Save the Queen and saluting the Queen. All the locals now vehemently even defend and fight Her Majesty's Jubilee Tower there. They don't really want to, they're not even if you go onto the main group on the internet of that hill fort, the Castle Hill group. This is the Castle Hill group. Don't talk about the Celts, don't talk about Iron Age hill forts. Just like put the photos of the tower and keep your mouth shut. Post the photos of the Victoria Tower and keep your mouth shut, right? Don't talk about Celts, don't talk about the area, don't talk about beautiful countryside around here unless it's take photos of the Pennines, take photos of Home Firth, take photos of, Marsden, take photos of Home Valley. Don't take photos, anything else. We're not interested, we don't want to know. We couldn't give a 2-ounce monkey's picketed Batensburg cakes. We couldn't give a monkeys about your warrior's tomb, about his ancient history. Industry, factories, smog. My great granddad working in a mill till his fingers were bent like like Uri Geller's spoons. He worked till his fingers were bent into rings. He worked in that mill till his hands were bright red and sore until he became a factory miller's Barry Shearman's labour. Work. I'm proud of working till the dust of my bones is in the floor of the factory. It's like my bones have been incinerated into the dust of this factory. Oh yeah, like 3 grandparents ago, and that's it. How did you get there? We've fueled this whole country and world. Yeah, in a pile of plastic bottle refuse, tip of recycling, and the progress of mankind. You won't know he's happy. All right, let's look. It's Dalton, right? Must grumble. Grumble. Oh, look at them poshies over there. Grumble, must grumble. Well, well, that's the result of Barry Shearman, basically. Barry Shearman, I didn't build them houses. If they built them right, but now they're doing it again. Now it's the next thing. Oh, we built this generation, and now we're going to start building decent houses. No, look at these bigger stone houses now. Next level up, progress, right? If you wind back to the 16th century, right, it wouldn't have been progress if everyone would have had, a nice estate with a big Victorian house. If they'd have built all the same, spread out, right? That'd have been progress. Now they're saying what progress is everyone having these big fancy stone houses, 4.4 children. That's progress. They could have had those houses back then. Because, there was some fancier and more beautiful houses historically than what they're building now. And in fact, they can't even be bothered building artistic houses anymore. They're just, bigger and more solider. And in fact, they're not even as solid as old churches and castles anyway. It's really progress is the progress of the financial institutes, the scientists, the research, blah, 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 Hadron Collider, science labs, chemistry, all that. It's their progress. And what do they use it for? Security cameras, control, this and that. It's their progress. We could have had progress in, right? Rewind back, right? You didn't need the Hadron Collider. You didn't need the scientist, researchers, chemical laboratory, and you didn't need the computers and tech, right? To have progress in the 16th and 17th centuries. How about love, sharing, compassion, right? Caring and equality, right? Build each other equal and same houses and buildings and lands, right? Didn't need any technology for that. All you needed is not having greedy bastards who were nicking all the money, right? And eating too much food. If they would have shared out the profits of businesses equal, then everyone would have had decent sized houses. You would never have needed to be building more houses anyway, right? So I don't know how the government can say, oh, we need to make progress. They They could always have had progress. What is progress? Their word for progress is not everyone have more equal stuff, right? It is their technological own progress in their businesses and technology, which will give them more power. Now, to allow them to do that now, to allow them to continue taking from us and get us to support it and give to their charities and that support their progress, right? Now they're saying, oh, well, now we're going to give you some bigger houses. We'll build nicer houses now, bigger houses now. So, build these houses, make our builders have loads of profits, give loads of money to the government. If you continue to support our progress, now we'll give you, better houses, right? They could have done that back then. You didn't need the technological progress. You didn't need the knowledge or science or any of that term they're claiming is progress. All they needed to do is that factory and mill owners is not have been greedy and wanted too much. And it wasn't progress. Didn't need any scientific or technological progress at all for everyone to have been built something nice and beautiful with beautiful gardens, right? And then they wouldn't have a reason to grumble and complain, right? It's got nothing to do with progress. And now they're still wanting to continue doing this, but they're saying, oh, well, now we're going to build this some more. Now you're going to build us bigger and better houses. Now that conveniently, to maintain your progress and keep pushing your technological advancements, now it's like Boris going, just before the voting comes in, buy to rent, oh, you're going to give you right to buy rooms, right? Why don't you do that? Last election or before. They're wanting to continue what they've been doing the whole way through and push it to the next level, right? And in order to justify it, and in order to get everyone to go along with it, now they're saying, oh, no, we'll build you some decent bigger houses, we'll knock all that rubbish crap down that we built before, which we didn't have to build all that rubbish and crap before. We could have built something decent before. We could build this, we could build that. Half the houses, there is no progress in houses. There is only change in style of houses. Because why is it all these beautiful, they call people in the countryside, in the cottages, toffs or poshes or whatever, but there is no progress. None of those houses that are being built now by Ben Stephen Marsden or, whoever it is getting awards from council, stuck up the behinds like Darren Smith Builders, oh, you're progressing house building, Darren. Very good. There's freaking York Cathedral. Show me the progress. Oh, there's Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Notre Dame. Seems solid to me, Darren. Notre Dame Cathedral. Look, a 12th century church. Let me have a look inside. Jesus Christ, is this a tank? Look at this stonemasonry work. It's like a freaking tank. There is no progress in house building. None. There is no progress in house building. It does not exist. It is a figment of the imagination. There is a desire and need now, a will to, in order to keep the non-voters and everyone else happy, now they're letting them have some bigger houses, right? And only if the builders can make an absolute killing out of it. And all these builders who are absolutely annoying the hell out of everyone else, who don't want the countryside and things around them totally written off and ruined, not only after they've cheated and scammed us on planning notices, not after they've cheated and scammed us in the council decision-making chamber, and not only after they've actually made profits and absolute butchery out of selling those homes, the profits, and all they use it for is to build gates and electronic entrances and tannoy around their house, so you can't go around and complain to them, and you don't even want to tell you what the name is, and all the builders have got fake addresses anyway. Oh, well, where's the builders based? Oh, right, yeah, it's based here. Well, there's nothing there. There's no builders there. It doesn't exist. Oh, there's like a container unit. It's not there. Oh, it's Kirkwood Hospice. Where's, it's Kirkwood Hospice. Where's Drochaide Builders? Oh, it ain't there. Look at the tax accounts on, HM Government website. Oh, no, because he lives in Thunder Bridge at home. He's working from home. This is it. The builders don't even want you to know where they live because they've done that many dodgy dealings with the council that when you find out what's really been happening with the scams on planning, with the tax dodging on multiple businesses, with the decision influencing in the council chamber, stopping people from doing petitions. The crookeder, there was a crooked man who had a crooked house. He had a crooked sixpence, found a crooked cat and had a crooked dog. He built a crooked housing estate. There was a crooked builder who built a crooked housing estate. He built a crooked entire town. He's got an entire crooked sector of developers, and then they had Balfour Beatty and Kier, and there was a crooked knight who kneeled before a crooked queen, and they had a crooked Crown Prosecution Service because it's a crooked government. And there's my heritage and history, or other people's heritage and history, not just my heritage and history, being bombarded by Roman arrows. It's almost like we're being bombarded to death by Tory voters, isn't it? But yet when we try and vote, they use the shields. It's almost like blocking. They're giving the blocks and the block and ban button. I'm just gonna get some signatures. Don't want you to do that. Oh, there's messenger. But it's Mark Zuckerberg's Roman shield. Get some signatures from this. Oh, where's my post gone? It's vanished. Oh, tag 50 people from the group. Although some of them are starting to sign. That's good. Oh, it's vanished. It's gone. No, shield's up. We're being butchered. We're actually being butchered by cheats. I'm sick of cheats. Changing spelling on things, changing meanings on stuff. And actually, sorry that I've got into that, but it's what happened to that warrior tomb. So it's like, it's not the warrior's tomb. The warriors are the Romans. The warriors are the Romans. It's the warrior's tomb. It's the Romans. The Romans made the tomb because they went and killed off all the Druids there by use of military arms. It was military arms. And it's like armsbury, isn't it? Giving arms. But it's like give alms to the poor. It's almost like getting the religious sacrament is giving alms, but also means like giving alms. The Romans are armed. After the Celts probably went over to that side and were bought off by the money, there's an art to buying people off, influencing people. So, our area, it's got that Robin Hood tale has got more. There's a lot more to it historically than it just happening around the 11 and 1200s, because the whole motif of the archers and the priest versus the hunter praying to pray, and the fact that on the old maps there's something going on, moving it around. It's at Artshead, but it's meant to be at Dalton, but then it's at Artshead. And then Jeffries, he didn't draw it in the right shape, but he puts it on there, and then. Then Delacey's messing around with the shape and pointing direction of it, and then we've got that whole Roman thing going on, which didn't tell the absolute truth about it. You've got these bridges appearing on the hats, the helmets, the bridges on the helmets, when they need some sort of motif to instill fear into the other side, because that's what you normally do, It's what the government do now, They're using, manipulating us. They're not supposed to influence the electors, the government, the local council or the government, but yet they bump all these, NHS adverts with masks on. It's all influence, the psychological influence. So they've got the TV, newspapers knocking stuff out. I don't think it will be difficult to win, because while the Romans won, is they had superior firepower, they had superior arms, they had the shields, they had the military force. And that's what we're lacking. We don't have enforcement power. If they would have actually had the enforcement power, which the Germans actually clearly did, they actually had enforcement. The Scots had some enforcement power because they couldn't get into Scotland. Even that Hadrian's Wall going across it's a bridge across the country. It's not a bridge over the water. It's a bridge across from Carlisle to Newcastle. And you walk on it. It's a bridge. You travel on it. It's like the Pennines is the bridge, Agbridge, and then they end up banging out Hadrian's Wall, which is symbolic to the same meaning and term. It's all about the bridge, the Drochaide, and it's like aid to help. Druid, Drochaide, to make a picture. It's almost like to have an idea. An idea is to aid. I had an idea how it could help something. Like, the ideas, the thoughts, the ideas, the images, But all of the elongation helps with the flow. And those structures, those long barrows, were used by the religious order, and there was some sort of aid, some sort of help, whether it was for channeling things or whether it was something to do with the north and south of the planet, like animals can have north and south, something to do with resistance, flow. It's to do with that. It definitely is something to do with that. And I think those structures might have even had some sort of part to play in it, although they're more associated with before the Druids, prehistoric time and period, But we because I didn't write anything down, we can only sort of fill the gaps in. Nobody's actually, all we've got is archaeologists poking and digging around in them, poking at them, picking at them and poking at them, looking for little arrowheads, looking for this, looking for that. They're not doing like Howard Crowhurst. Howard Crowhurst's made more with his alignments. He's proved the alignments and exact, precise measurements. He's proved all that. Howard Crowhurst that tells you more, if not as much, as what the archaeologists are finding out. And the fact is, to really get into the Druids and what they were all about is to use the religious sacraments, which were getting denied and made illegal, except if you're, Imperial Chemical Industries or, Rowan Carr at Imperial College, or some anthropologist, picking around in South America, picking the nose down in South America or whatever they're doing, because they actually don't want you to get hold of the sacrament lawfully, get people taking them interested in it, and then start turning up and knocking around and sniffing around the ancient sites that haven't been picked and pulled to pieces. Oh, what's going on here? Let's sit in it. Let's get some experience. And then you might actually find out if something works or something means something in there when you're in that enlightened state of contemplation, which many of these substances gain access into those realms of mental space and enlightenment, of ideology, the idea, the picture, the druid drew something, the druid, if it hadn't been robbed and rubbing of the hood, of the heart, of the ideas, of the Celtic helmet, of the helm, the Romans come in, take the idea for their own, on their own symbology and meaning, start naming everything on the map, and then knock the Druids out, and then you start getting Christianity pops its head up, and then another wave comes across out into the far reaches of Ireland and Scotland. Again another wave, and then something happens, backfires, and the Romans pull out. Rome falls. And then you kind of got a bit of a resurgence movement with the Arthurian period, 4, 5, 6, 7, 800, when it comes to a culmination with the drawing of the Book of Kells. And then you've got this Agbridge, this character in the Book of Kells has got this, he's got his arms out, giving arms, and then you've got this bridge shape that he's doing from one point to another. It's almost like Ireland and England, or the length. It's in the picture, it's in the book, and then all the Celtic gods fit into it, which I've done in the picture. This is what's going on. They don't want you to. There's something to do with. It's to do with the rulership and the power of the country and the people. It's to do with the religion, the bishops. It's to do with whatever religion you want to call it. The underlying forces and principles of the religion and how it affects and controls the entire people, which effectively is what they're using in media and TV now, broadcasting, casting magic through imagery, drawing things into people's minds, the matrix, the network of the ideas. So, and it's not even considered religion. Oh, that's not religion. That's not anything to Druids. This is just, it's advertising. I'm a marketing. I've got a marketing degree in marketing. I study behaviour of people on products and things. Well, from the university, well, a degree. That's one of the degrees in the halo. One degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees. But we're not allowed to identify it now as religion. But yet the Archbishop of Canterbury, to his own personal capacity, it's bang on subject. We must save the people from sin. supposedly, yum, 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 that's a nice cake, yum, 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 in my tum. There's fucking, Bury St Edmunds, buried, we buried them in their graves, dead in sugar. Look at that pile of sugar, Bury St Edmunds, we buried them, warrior's tomb, sugar tomb, buried St Edmunds, buried in sugar, toxic sugar, right? There's something the church know are all dialed into saving us from sin, yet the marketing degree graduates are all over controlling us in what we buy. Influence. Why is the Archbishop of Canterbury and the Pope Francis not all over research marketing degree? Because they're meant to have 360 of them. 360 freaking degrees in every subject under the sun. Except the study of the sacrament of psilocybin, because that's illegal, except Robin Carhart, Robin Hood, riding through the glen on his horse, not in a Carhart. He's at the Imperial College in London, not the Imperial Chemical Factory, next to where the tomb is, with the arrow tree stuck in the side of it, it's just ridiculous. I'm kind of sick of it now. I'm sick of the Irish going, it's not it's Drochaide. No, it's not. Drochaide. Yeah, same thing. Bridge, Brigantes, long barrows, Druids. I drew it in my mind. I had an idea. This is it. Kind of sick. I'm sick of it, and I'm sick of Porky Boris Johnson. I'm on Top Gear. I'm very rich. I'm Boris Johnson. I'm from a very rich family. And my next door neighbours just blew his head off with a shotgun, and then, and he's killed his wife and then blew his own head off with a shotgun. How did they get him to do that? Probably with the mobile phones, moving planes directly over his house, diverting traffic past there, making it noisy, getting certain adverts to pop up on his phone to intimidate him, and all the rest of it. That Double Down News are actually broadcasting live on the internet and acknowledging that people are being attacked by the media and devices, individuals being targeted and intimidated because they are a threat to political parties in this country. Individuals cannot be allowed to get signatures on petitions which could dislodge the major political parties. Boris, right? Seriously, Boris, you need to go home. Go home, Porky Boris. Oh, he's a man with two big balls. He's on Top Gear. Look at that. Oh, he's got big balls. It's AC/DC. It's Boris. Oh, look. Give him a little test out now. So let's see how he does for us. Oh, yeah, he's on Top Gear. He's getting slated. He's absolutely butchered. Boris, Top Gear, butchered. Oh, yeah, there's a guy who can take a few slaps. Let's have him as Prime Minister. No, he's the Mayor of London first. Yes, Boris is the candidate. Feeling a lot of, it's pity the fool. Now, look, all these people voting for Tories. Boris, pity the fool. All these people we've built fucking, giving them rubbish estates, giving them crap food to, not have them in the most, fittest capacity of operation, and then, oh, it's Boris. I'm Boris. I'm a bit of a geek and a bit fat and I tell lies, so you can sympathise with me if you're a bit fat too and your life's not going perfectly amazing and people are picking on you, because I'm Boris, the mascot of the Tories. This is how we get the votes. Play the other one. Boris, fuck off. Who are these people? It's almost like, what's the plan? Right, well, get Druid hats on as Elmets, bridges, and then, we'll slaughter them to death with arrows. Now we've got all the military force. It's okay, right. We've slaughtered all these people. They're all fat, unhealthy, won't help each other. Now we've got them blocking and banning each other, so they'll never come together against us ever, because we've just got them all annoyed at the slightest little thing. Block, ban, ban, ban. It's don't come together. And now we'll get him, put the Boris on the hat, put the fat man on the mascot, get the mascot out, get the fat, the fat pity the fool. Now, the last few people who do bother voting, get them to vote for Boris. It's just ridiculous. It's tragic and sad that, a supposedly a political party with scientists, with multi-billion-pound investors and corporations and degree graduates in every subject that can be possibly conceived of on the planet, even new subjects that are being invented, have a mascot who is a complete and total buffoon. He is, the mascot is human failure. But they've, warped it into success. He's been voted in. It's success. Bury him in sugar. Bury St Edmunds. His metabolism is fucked. But everyone's voting for him because he's not really what the Conservative Party are. He's just a mascot, It's like getting Santa. Oh, we'll have Santa, like Fat Santa. It's okay. We'll finish we'll finish him off now. Get their hero, their Druid hero, Santa, who is really fat and stuck up a chimney, That's it. It's like Boris is almost like the Santa, it's like, right, well, we've totally fucked him over now, and then the mascot is a fat man, fat and healthy, saying, that won't do him no good, yeah, it's Boris. It's almost like, it's like Boris is Santa of the Tories, it's like they get their own, you don't have like Hern of the Woods anymore, Hern the Hunter, or even, whatever, it's some, symbol of health and vitality, and try and encourage the people to aspire to be that, because you're not making that money out of them if you do that. You're not making any profit out of them. To make profit out of them and to control them, they need to be sent down the wrong path. They need to be influenced with influencer marking the wrong side, which is why the Archbishop of Canterbury, I believe, he's not going to save us from sins. And then he's like, oh, no, there's nothing going on there. It's Africa, save Africa, save Africa, save the poverty-stricken companies. That is basically our fault. It's like distraction. There's nothing going on over there. Archbishop, right? Look, are you going to save us from sin or not? Stop making up excuses for freaking charities and fucking, other countries. We are the problem. We aren't going to help anyone else when we're fucked. It's like Boris. All right, Boris can help the Tories by getting people to vote for him, right? He's helping all the Tory corporate companies because they all voted for that party and what he's going to do with the law in the country. Yet, Boris himself, he's everyone's called him a liar. He's not the icon and mascot of fitness. It's the fuck up. But they all think it's good. Vote for it. It's counterculture. It's ridiculous. And I blame the Archbishop of Canterbury because I don't think that Justin Welby really has a fucking clue religiously how to lead a planet spiritually. He ain't got the capacity to do it. He's the mascot as well. Welby's the mascot. He doesn't actually have the ideological capacity to solve all the problems or he would get his testicles out and say, right, we're not having these cakes and buns anymore. And it's my responsibility that we're all addicted to them. And all the truckers in Canada are going to go on strike and, say, oh, we'll block the roads off if we can't have donuts anymore. Then, you've got, it's like the Canadian government, they create problems because the companies and corporations have not had caps put on them. We've got caps on us. You can't send all those messages to get all those petition signatures because then you'll be making the decisions. Greed has not been capped in this country because of the Tories. Tories want themselves to be uncapped and go into excess and even, stuff themselves to death, which is, it's suicide in a way. It's self-harm because you need religious figures in charge who actually know what the fuck is going on in the world in the degrees of marketing and who actually give a damn truly about other people and realise that even though these people are saying, I've got the right to eat chocolate, I've got the right to stuff my face with donuts, they're actually addicted to them. Yet the government will ban certain drugs like amphetamines and cocaine. That's illegal. Yet they won't put a cap on the fucking sugar mound. They've even got knights. Her Majesty's companion, Alan Sugar, fall for sugar. It's not the fucking Pendragon. This is the thing, Dragon's Den. Oh, we've got Dragon's Den. Oh, there's an hill fort there. What happens to the actual Pendragon hill fort? Well, Dragon's Den bought it and turned it into, like some kind of healthy nature reserve of heritage with foraging and healthy eating and, oh no, build a sugar factory on it, fucking dragon cake. There's something seriously mentally wrong with this country, and it's people like Philip Schofield, excess in fame. They say that most people have 5 or 10 proper best friends. If you've got a group of 5 or 10 proper best friends, why do you need any more? You don't actually need everyone spreading your ass cheeks and kissing your bum, do you? Why does Schofield need those? Why does the extra zeros matter to Schofield? Why does Schofield need the 1 million worshippers? Why aren't you happy with 10 best friends? Why aren't you even happy with 100? Why does he have to have that million, in the fake studio sounds? Oh, they're all clapping down the applause, everyone applause. Fake studio. That's the problem with Zuckerberg now. He's wanting to change people's, appearance and avatars. Yeah, if you go on the Fiverr site, it doesn't matter what you look like. There's a lot of scamsters on there, and you can tell they're a scamster straight away because they're scamming you. They're all putting fake pictures and avatars on there, and that's what the problem is. They're not putting the real photo on, and you're getting scammed by them. That's what Zuckerberg wants to do. He wants to scam us all. He wants to have Facebook like Fiverr, so it's really a scam site. That's what Zuckerberg wants to do, unfortunately. We've got serious problems. And this was only meant to be a video about, Drochaide and Bridge. So, but I'm glad I got a few things done I want to say because it's important.